Hey, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome. We had a few technical difficulties. So, hopefully, you're just joining us now. If you are, let us know in the comments where you're coming from. What time of day is it? Here it's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I am super happy to have you join me on this workshop, The Secret to Betas. So I'm going to share my screen and open up Canva and let's get going. Okay, if you see me looking over here to the left, I'm just trying to make sure that things are coming across the way they should. So let's get going. If we've never met, my name is Debbie Starr, Starr Consulting, and I help entrepreneurs, coaches, creatives create their dream online business. If we've never met before, I've been around the block a few times, been with technology, online marketing, all that kind of stuff for many years. Won't bore you with all of the details, but uh, trust me, I've been there. I know your frustrations, and I'm super excited to share with you the secret of betas, actually getting paid to launch. So I'm going to open this up full screen and let's just jump in. Now, first of all, if you want to scan this code or go to the bit.ly link here, you'll be able to get all of the resources. If you're watching this on replay, I will have a link. It's a Google Doc and it will give you access to the slides and also some of the goodies that I'm sharing with you. So just take a minute. You should be able to scan this or just type in this bit.ly link to get the downloads. Okay. And if you're having trouble seeing things or hearing things, make sure you let me know in the comments. YouTube is telling me that sometimes, I don't know, the bit rate is not as high as they want. I'm not for sure what that means. So let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me, that everything is good to go. All right. So let's move forward. What are we going to talk about today? The objectives is why you should be doing beta launches. Now, if you're brand new to the online space, a beta means it's like the brand new baby. You're just putting it out into the world. Well, the nice thing is if you do beta launches, you are going to realize that you can actually get paid by testing to see if your product or service is good to go. Today, we're also going to talk about some of the common challenges and solutions. And here's the deal. I want to give you those tools so that these challenges won't keep you from launching, because we want you to move forward. I'm also going to share with you my 3-step beta launch framework. And this is going to make it super easy to be able to put together this beta launch, and you'll be able to gather the feedback along the way. And at the end of our time together, you will have an action plan and a workbook and some resources so that you'll know what to focus on moving forward. And here's the good news. You will never dread launching again once you see how easy it is and risk-free by offering this beta launch. And then you won't have to agonize about, worrying if this is good enough, should you launch, keep putting things off and so forth. So first of all, let's talk about why should you even run betas. I'll tell you what, once you do this, it is a game changer, because with beta launches, it actually is a stress-free, easy, predictable way to test the market with your courses. And most importantly, you can, let me see if I can get my little pin here, you can build the confidence. That is the number one thing that people struggle with, is they just don't feel confident in what they have to offer. So when you run betas, you'll know immediately if this is a good offer or not, and without the risk. If I can turn my pen off here so I can go to the next page. All right. Another advantage of betas is the validation. When you are putting together your beta offer, you don't have to spend hours and hours creating something only to find out that nobody wants to buy it. So when you run a beta, you'll be able to get real feedback right away. And then you can take that feedback and you can refine your offer. Then you can start scaling once you've really nailed it down. And the beautiful thing about betas is it's no risk. Okay, with a beta, you're not locked into any commitment. So if you get this idea and you test the market and you see that no one's raising their hand, then you haven't really lost anything. It provides great value to your audience without a lot of cost on your part. Now, let's talk about what are some of the common fears of launching, and most importantly, how can you overcome them? First of all, the fear, let me get my pen out here, the fear that no one will buy it. And let me know in the comments, have you had this? Secretly, deep down inside, this is what's holding you back from actually launching, because you think, what if I go to all this trouble and nobody buys? You're not alone if you feel that way. Another holdback from people launching is the lack of clarity. Everything just seems like a jumbled mess, and it just feels like a mountain. And then the complication and overwhelm. So these are the 3 main reasons that people hold off launching. Okay. Looks like today is Tech Day Struggles. All right, let me just put it in this format. All right, so let's talk about the fear of no one buying. The easy way to get past this fear is just do the market research using the tools that I'm going to give you in a few minutes. You do the testing, and if there's some interest out there, then you know that you're good to go. But if not, You can tweak it, you can pivot, you can refine it, again, without spending a lot of time, effort, money, and then you can just try the next one. The lack of clarity, if you don't have a central, tangible takeaway for people, then it becomes too vague and people think, well, maybe it's not for them. A lot of times people try to cover too much. And again, it's not crystal clear on how you're helping people. So because of that, it just gets all jumbled. And a lot of times, especially if we're not super confident, about what we have to offer, or maybe we're new to the online space, then we have a tendency to overcompensate. We want to open the pantry doors, pile everything out, and then it's just way too much for people to take action on. And then that third reason we talked about, feeling overwhelmed and everything's too complicated. Well, a solution for that is using a non-tech solution. And I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes. And then once you use your house pillar, you'll be able to pull out what we call the micro topics, and it will make it super streamlined, and you'll know exactly what to offer without making it too complicated. And here's the deal. I tell people, let's make a commitment to date and not marry. Okay. So what do I mean by that? We are beta testing. We're going to try things out, but if it doesn't work, that's okay. Sometimes people hesitate to make, to do their launch because in the back of their mind, they're thinking, well, maybe there's something else. Don't worry. We're not committing to marry. We're just going to try it out, test the market. So the framework that I'm going to teach you, I call it defining your house. You're going to create a triangle model that has 3 pillars, and these pillars are the top 3 problems that your ideal people struggle with. And then from there, we're going to identify those little mini transformations that people are looking for to get that desired result. And then after that, you will just tweak and define those angles and see if there's anybody out there that wants to raise their hand saying, yes, that's me. That's what I want. You with me? Okay. So let's see if I can put this back into full screen. All right. So the house, defining your house. Here's just a little simple diagram of it. We're going to dig in so that you can see how to construct your own house. And just like I said, basically you're going to identify the 3 main problems and then the solution of those problems, and less is more. So we're not going to build the whole rocket ship. We're just going to identify 3 tangible things that they need help with. And then from there, you'll have those tangible solutions. So this whole thing will become your foundation piece to help you in your marketing and also in your delivery system. Once you've identified the problem and the solution, then we're going to pull out just 3 tiny little pieces that will actually get them from A to B. So I've got some examples here. When we are looking for those problems, you're going to be doing some research and you're going to look for 3 main problems that they struggle with. And when you're looking for those, let me just open this up. You're going to identify what the struggle is, what the fears are, and what their desires are. And if you can tap into those secret desires, that's what you really want. Okay, I don't know why it always makes me shut this little pencil off before I can go to the next page. Okay, so in your workbook, you'll have a little sample diagram like you see here, and you can use this as your worksheet as you are trying to tap into what are your ideal people's struggles and fears and desires so that they can. So that is the key piece. What will happen once they get this solution? So let's use some real life examples. So let's say you are a career transitional coach. You're helping people transition from one career to another. Well, what are the struggles that your ideal people are struggling with? They might feel trapped in this soul crushing corporate job at every Sunday night, just thinking about going to work, all of a sudden they're feeling all of that anxiety because of the job that they have. They're missing important family moments. They're just stuck in this and they're watching their health decline. Okay, so that's an example of what their struggles are. What are their fears? Their fears, they feel like, well, maybe they can't afford to leave their safe job. They might be feeling like they're too old or maybe even too young to start over, to start a new career. They might be afraid, well, what if they fail? So maybe they're looking at wanting to start an online career, but then they think, what if it doesn't work? Does that mean they have to crawl back to their corporate job? And then they might be thinking about, what will other people think if they quit their corporate job? I know that happened for me. I had a gravy train type of job. And when I left it, people are like, what? Are you crazy? Why are you giving that up? But I could relate to all of these things here. So it was an easy transition for me. And then we want to define, what are their desires? What do they really want deep down inside? Maybe they want to wake up feeling excited about their work for a change. Maybe they're looking for control over their schedule. Maybe it's what they're doing. They don't feel like they're making an impact. What they really want is to make an impact in the work that they're doing. And they want to build financial security without the corporate golden handcuffs. They know that they're worth a lot more, but they're trapped into this 2% raise every year. And then finally, so that they can. So what do I mean here? This is the golden ticket at the end. So if you are a career transition coach, what's that promised land that you're sharing with them? You're sharing with them, finally escape the corporate hamster wheel, because that's really what they're looking for, and build a fulfilling career on their own terms without sacrificing their health, family time, or financial security. Is that making sense? All right, let's choose another one. So let's say you're a fitness coach for busy moms. Now, let me just say this. I'm giving you examples of how we can pick out the primary problems that they're struggling with, and then what are the solutions. And then from that, you're going to pull out something and then start testing it with your beta. So a fitness coach, her ideal client, they just feel like that they don't have time for consistent workouts. Okay. A busy mom, running around. So they just can't find that time. They might be feeling guilty about actually taking care of themselves. And they feel frustrated because they've tried everything under the sun. Those fad diets, it's just not working. And they probably are feeling exhausted because they've tried to do it all. So that's some of their struggles. Now, their fears, what are some of their fears? They might be thinking, I'm never going to get back to my pre-baby body size. They might be thinking, is this going to make me selfish because I'm trying to take care of myself? They might just quite honestly be thinking, what if I fail again? I've tried everything. Or, if I go down this path, maybe I won't have enough energy to take care of my kids and my family. Now let's talk about, what are their desires? And here's the key. When you can tap into their desires, especially those secret desires, that's when your ideal person is going to hear you and they're going to raise their hand. So deep down inside, what do they want? They want to feel confident in their clothes again. Okay. And especially their pre-baby clothes. So they want that confidence. They want to have that energy. They want to be a good role model for their family. Okay. And they want something that's sustainable. They know that living on 500 calories a day isn't sustainable. And then what do they really want? They want to get fit and energized in just 30 minutes a day without mom guilt or missing precious family time. Right? So is that making sense? Let me know in the comments if you happen to be watching. There's another one here. I won't bother to go through this one for the sake of time, but is this making sense? Let me come back here and hide this for a second just so I can talk to you face to face. So when you are building your beta, we talked about the advantages of the beta gets you over that fear factor of what if no one buys it and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm showing you an easy way that you can build your house, build your triangle, okay, and pick out 3 main problems that your people struggle with, and then come up with those really juicy, tangible solutions. And how do you do that? Just like what I was showing you there, by tapping into those hidden desires. And once you do that, people will be saying, yes, that's me. That sounds like me. That's great. That's what I want. All right. So let me go back here and find the right slides. Okay, so just like I said, the solution that you're offering people, the 3 main problems and the step by step. So here's another example of how you would break this down. So if you were a financial coach for small businesses, again, you're going to do some brainstorming and come up with what are the problems that they're struggling with. So in this instance, maybe cash flow, constant cash flow is a situation. Maybe their bookkeeping is a mess. Okay. They've got receipts all over the place, or maybe they don't even keep track of things and they don't have a clear profit plan. All right. So from these problems, what are 3 main kind of bleeding neck problems that you could come up with? Well, here, never enough money at tax time. Okay. Come tax time, you're just holding your breath because you think, oh my goodness, I don't even know how much I owe and where am I going to get the money? A couple other problems, messy expense tracking, unpredictable income. So what is the solution? Again, we identify the problem and then we talk about the solution. The solution might be the profit first system. And if that's something that you're promoting, then what are those little mini steps that you're going to help them so that they get that win? You're going to teach them about what types of bank accounts they need to set up. You're going to show them how to allocate what goes where, and then to implement simple little system so that they can put this in place. So see how easy that is. And then you can test the market and see, hey, anybody out there have trouble at the end of tax time wondering where in the world they're going to come up with their money for taxes? Well, you'll never have to worry about it again, right? So that's just an example. Now, let's talk about research. How do you find all of these nuggets? 3 main areas that you can go to that are a gold mine is, if you're on social media, pay attention to the questions and the comments that people have. All right. This is just unlimited. When you visit these different Facebook groups and so forth, pay attention to what are people asking, what are they complaining about, what are they talking about, what are they saying they wish they had. That is going to be the spotlight on what they need. Start paying attention and saving all of the ads that come across your desktop. So these ads, when you learn to dissect them and look at, what I want you to be doing is pulling out what pressure points what problems is this particular service addressing? And then start adding things here to your research gold mine. Also, in the books, look at people's like testimonial or recommendations, things like that, because again, another gold mine. When you read what people have said, oh, I can't believe I read his book and I implemented ABC. Or, yes, I was really struggling with XYZ. Okay. So these are 3 areas that are loaded with market research and how you can be looking for those nuggets, because what we want is to hone in on the specific areas that people need help with. You tracking? Then once we start building our house, now we haven't built the course, we haven't built a fancy landing page. All we're doing is we're doing the market research. We're trying to build our house. And remember, we're not going to marry something, because we're going to see, okay, does this land with people? Is this something that people need? And then what do? We do what's called the hand raiser post. And you just make a simple statement similar to this. Hey, I'm getting a few people together this week to XXX and YYY so that you can ABC. Would you like to join us? So going back to the financial coach, it might be something like, hey, I'm getting a few people together this week to help them come up with a streamlined system so that they always have the money they need to pay their taxes without spending hours on some boring spreadsheet. Are you interested? All we're doing at this point is getting people to raise their hand. We're looking for the interest. Are there people out there that says, yes, I would like that. I have that problem. Okay, you with me? All right. So now let's go on to the next little chapter, so to speak. We're still focusing on why you should be offering betas. I want you to sell the benefits of a beta launch. So the first benefit is usually it's either free or you're offering a reduced price. And people love that. People love a deal. Okay. So let them know, hey, I'm offering this to the first 6 people for free, or the first 10 people at a reduced price, 50% off in exchange for your feedback and a testimonial. Another benefit when you run a beta, remind people that because this is a beta, guess what? You are going to get my intimate and personal attention. Well, who wouldn't love that? And the third benefit is, because it is a beta, just say, hey, as we're going through this program, if I see that, you really need something else, we might be able to modify things a little bit so that it's almost like a custom built program just for them. And here's the deal. People love, let me come back here so I can see you face to face. People love being part of the buy-in process. In other words, if they've helped kind of build this, if their feedback has helped you design that perfect course or program, people love it. They have buy-in, and they will want to make it a success for you also. All right? Is that making sense? Okay, let's go back to the slides here. Now, once you have this house built, again, we're still not talking about building a fancy funnel and all that kind of stuff. We've got our little triangle model. Now, how do you talk about your offer? You're going to just go down these columns and talk to people saying, hey, you're here because I'm going to continue to use the financial planning one. You're here because every year you hold your breath at tax time, and you would love a simple, sustainable system so you never have to worry about your bookkeeping and your taxes again. Pretty easy. Then if you have a case study or your own personal study, well, that was me 5 years ago before I learned about the Profit First system. And now every year I've already paid my taxes in advance. My bookkeeping is up to the minute, etc. All right. And then 3 lessons I've learned, and this is how I can help you moving forward. So again, do you see how easy it is once we've built our house to take that and use that in our marketing, use it when we talk to people? And then on the outside of that triangle, the 3 main obstacles. So again, we're just going down the line, identifying if you're like how I was 5 years ago. I had, papers all over the place. I didn't have a system, whatever it was. You just fill that in, the frustrations and the impact of what that problem was causing. And then which problem impacts you the most. So again, when you're talking to people about your beta offer, you're honing in on finding that ideal person. And then you move over to the solution column and say, so here's what we do instead. So, number 1, we create the easy Profit First system so that your money's allocated and it's easy to pay your taxes. We do step number 2 so that, and so forth. All right. See how easy that is? Now let's go on to the next piece that holds people back when they're putting together their offers. And that is creating a non-tech offer. So all along, I've been saying we're not worrying about the funnel systems. We're not worrying about something complicated. Instead, what I want you to do is to start with a simple Google document that outlines your offer with a link to the CTA. So in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about my Digital Business Academy, but this is an example. Okay. So the advantage of creating a simple, let me see if this is going to show here, a simple Google document is you're not trapped in technology. It's easy to make updates to it. And this document can just grow with you. I mean, how easy is that? So the advantages, again, remember, we're beta testing. We're creating a beta program. So we don't want to spend hours and hours building something complicated like a 10-step funnel. So it'll be super easy for you to do just this Google document. You won't get lost in the tech jungle. Very simple to modify and refine because, again, what we're doing is we're listening to the market and we're trying to figure out exactly what pain points and what do people need help with. And it's relatable. You don't look like you're $1 million person and somebody who's just getting started in the business. They might feel intimidated. You're just offering them a very down-to-earth solution and they can easily relate to you. So let's do a quick recap here. What are the benefits of actually creating a beta first before you spend all these hours? It's stress-free because you're just playing, so to speak. You're doing market research. You're trying to figure out what do your ideal people need and can you offer it? So it's stress-free. The beautiful thing is you can validate it because when you do those simple hand raising, hey, I'm working on this, who's interested, you can see if there are people that's interested in this and there's no risk. Okay. You're not spending hours and hours building all this back end stuff, building your program, spending hours on the technology. You're just testing the market in an easy way. It will also help you overcome those main challenges, that fear that's holding you back, that fear of, well, what if no one buys. You can kick that to the curb. We're just testing, okay? We're going to make a promise to date. It doesn't mean we have to marry this idea. We will have a very clear structure of what our program is, and we're going to make it super simple and then just test the market, okay? And then the pillars that we talked about, we will build our house, identify those 3 main pillars. We're going to focus on the transformations that we can help them with. And then we'll just put it out to the market and do some testing. Now, let me come back here. Look at you eyeball to eyeball. Now, that's just kind of a higher level. I keep stressing, do the beta launch first instead of spending hours doing all of this. But now you're at the crossroads. And so I want to just take a few minutes to talk about how I can help you streamline this whole process. Okay. So let me just bring back the screen here. So the beta launch is just the beginning. So what's next? Quite honestly, what I call the lonely path or the supported journey. And we've all been on the lonely path too long. Here's the reality check though. When you are struggling along, especially with technology, you're wasting hours trying to learn software, trying to figure out the best tools to use. You're second guessing everything, and you're missing out on opportunities while you're trying to figure this out. If you're on a supported journey, guess what? It's like having the flashlight in front of you and behind you. You'll have that clear guidance on every step. You will be walking in a proven system already mapped out. And how lovely to go along on a community-minded journey with others just like you, and to have that help right when you need it. Now, I want to ask you a question. How many hours did you spend last week or last month just trying to figure out the tech stuff? Okay. And how many times have you put off launching because everything just feels so complicated, so overwhelming? Let me know in the comments if you can relate to that. Again, we've all been there. What most people don't realize, it's the hidden cost. So let's say you're spending 10 hours a week, 40 hours a month, $250 average on the wrong tools or unused tools, maybe 2,000 plus in lost revenue because you haven't launched. You've just got one problem after another. So every month you might be looking at $5,000 just going down the drain because you haven't launched because of all of this other stuff that you're trying to deal with. I want you to actually take this moment and turn down the right path so that you're not drowning in technology. You're not second guessing your systems. You're not feeling overwhelmed by all the stuff. Just think about how nice it would be to be on a clear roadmap with proven templates. Make it super easy just to fill in and launch, and have expert guidance at your fingertips, plus a community of peers supporting you and being your cheerleader along the way. So I just want to take a couple minutes and talk about my business, my Digital Business Academy. It's a membership where, in addition to the mentoring and coaching, you get the workbooks, the templates, the monthly guides, the trackers, the checklists, the calculators, everything to make your job easier to actually launch. There's a lot of memberships out there. So what makes DBA different? The 3 things that I've identified that moves the needle is you have to have good systems in place to simplify everything. You need strategies that actually work in 2025, and leveraging the software that will save you time. So no fluff, no overwhelm, let's just use the things that work and implement them in your business. Inside DBA, as I mentioned, imagine having the step-by-step tutorials, done for you templates, these proven marketing systems, weekly live support calls, because all of this will give you the clarity, not the complexity. I want you to do the testing, do the market research, and get your baby launched. Launch your beta. Okay. So in the Digital Business Academy, everything that you need in one place. You'll have the guidance, flexible learning, and the resources to get going. So let me just talk about Sarah for a quick minute. She was very successful in the corporate world, but when she stepped into the online space, it's like nobody told me that I had to be a marketer, that I had to be a salesperson, that I had to be a tech whiz. Okay, so she struggled with all those things. But within 30 days, she was able to launch her first offer. She was able to set up her client management system. And she was able to save at least 15 hours a week on all of these tech tasks and, all the miscellaneous pieces that most people try to implement in their business. So the real cost when you go it alone, the delayed launches, how much money are you leaving on the table just by thinking in the future, someday I will launch? Okay. The money and the time and the effort on trying to troubleshoot the technology, trying to figure out even what to use. You might be having to hire people to help you, a VA system, wrong tools, all of that kind of stuff. So you are leaving a lot of money on the table. But most importantly, the intangible costs. I don't know about you, but it's a drag when you're in your office on a beautiful Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon because you have so much stuff you're trying to do just to launch your course or your program, and your family's out there having a great time. Okay. So say amen if you can relate to that. And the stress from constantly second guessing yourself. Your confidence takes a huge hit every time you sit down to do something. And then once again, you have another setback and you just get so frustrated. You're losing all this momentum between your projects, between the different ideas that you come up with. Well, DBA gives you the systems, the support, and the solution that to reclaim all of this, and is only $47 a month. Okay. Each month we have a monthly theme and a mini challenge so that we can stay focused on building and implementing the things that's important to move your business forward. We have live workshops, daily coaching and support, and all of those templates that make your job a lot easier. So the decision, you can continue to try to figure things out alone, face the same struggles. You can try to duct tape everything, put together all these various tools, or just take the easy street, join DBA, where you'll have the support, the accountability in your back pocket so that you can hit those revenue goals. Now, for the workshop, special offer, if you join today, the first month is only $6.97. Hello, it's a no-brainer. There's no obligation. You can cancel anytime. So join today and you'll save $40. If you join today, you'll also get a bonus of a private 30-minute tech audit with me. We'll open the hood. I'll just take a look at what you got and what you should be focusing on. And also my complete template library is at your access. Now, this is only good for 3 days. So what do you need to do to get this? Go to this website here and sign up for it. Once you do that, schedule your one-to-one business audit with me, and then you'll get access immediately to everything. And let me just mention this. Some people might have some questions. So what if I'm too busy right now? Well, that's why you need this, because our members are saving an average of 15 hours per week using my custom systems and pre-built templates. Some people might say, well, what if I'm not tech savvy enough? That's why I break things down into itty bitty bite sized pieces. And quite honestly, if you can use Facebook, you can do this. And then some people say, but I've tried other programs before. Again, this is why DBA is different, because I'm not just opening the floodgates and giving you a bunch of information. I am giving you the implementation support because I want you to get your beta baby out there in the world. And this is what your success path could look like within the first 30 days. The first week will complete your tech audit and streamline your tools. By week 2, we'll have your automated system set up. Week 3, you'll be ready to launch your optimized sales process. And week 4, you can start scaling with some of the proven templates. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Wouldn't that be great? So again, it's limited time because I want you to take action. Join for only $7, basically. Save that $40. Have access to that private 30-minute tech consult with me and the template library. So today it's only $6.97. Once the replay comes down, then all of those goodies go away. Again, if you want to stop struggling, if you want to start scaling, join the membership. We would love to have you there. All right, so that's it. I hope that I will see you inside of Digital Business Academy. Thank you so much for joining us on this workshop. Reach out with questions, anything that I can answer for you, and I'll see you next time.